How many times have you played through your all-time favorite video game? 5, 10, 100, 1 million times? What is it that keeps you coming back? Is it comforting? Is it just highly replayable? Does it take you back in time? As you've probably guessed, Banjo Kazooie is my all-time favorite video game. I'm surprised I can still say that after all these years, and I've lost count of how many times I've completed it. But I'm sure I'm not alone. This silly little 90s collectathon platformer has quite the fan culture behind it. For a game series with only 4 main entries into it, the last one being as far back as 2008, the level of passion on display tells the story. And let's be honest, Banjo Tooie, Grunty's Revenge, and Nuts and Bolts received their fair share of distaste. I'd be confident saying that the main draw for most is the 1998 original. But having such an aging game as your all-time favorite has its problems. Well, 3 problems.
I'm gonna pose 2 scenarios to you. The first, Banjo Kazooie is reviewed today as it looks and plays on Nintendo Switch, but it's a brand new release no one has ever seen before. The second scenario is Banjo Kazooie is, again, reviewed today on Nintendo Switch, but it has its history, fandom, and rose-tinted goggles intact. Which scenario do you think the game would review the highest?
If we're honest, probably the second.
And that's the first problem. I can't see past those rose-tinted goggles. We all know objectively that the game no longer gets a 9.6 on IGN in its current form. Any modern attempt to reassess it smacks into the huge heaving mass of its own legacy. Subjectivity simply cannot be avoided.
This becomes a problem when making comparisons with newer titles, not just similar games like Yooka-Laylee and Super Lucky's Tale, but any game.
Even the mighty Super Mario Odyssey, somewhere in the depths of my mind, an ugly little voice is comparing it to the idealistic memories I have of Banjo Kazooie.
Ugly little voice? Do you think that was a dig at us?
No, probably just you, ugly.
It's a human condition that we try to bring the best of ourselves forward through time and hold on to that which leaves a lasting impression. Technology, the internet in particular, makes it so much easier for us to hold on to the recent past. So instead of art depictions and historical recounts, we can keep experiencing this culture firsthand. And that leads me on to my second point. Look at the graphics. Like the pixel art of early gaming, the blocky, low-poly early 3D with its poor quality textures and compressed sound has a certain charm to it.
Yeah, I mean, just look at us.
No, we look like this because Biffa is at After Effects.
We're no longer bound to the technological push in graphics we once were. Nowadays, true-to-life realism is not always the target of developers. Retro graphics are an artistic choice, rather than the result of any limitation, and it's been that way for some time. This stops Banjo Kazooie feeling so dated, especially when playing on Xbox with 4K support and various quality of life improvements. There are no barriers I need to cross. I'm not rolling my eyes at the graphics. I'm not getting frustrated with the controls.
But this deliberately old-fashioned artistic choice is only acceptable because of past games like Banjo Kazooie. But if the next mainline Mario game looked like Super Mario 64, you'd be pretty pissed off, wouldn't you? It'd feel like a right cop-out. Yes, retro graphics can look nice, but how much of it is for the sake of time and money?
Art direction comes from a place of passion, not just to speed up development or save money. It has to be done correctly. They want to evoke a certain feeling that's been lost as technology has advanced.
And this leads me to my final point. Some games ooze passion, even if it's just a subconscious awareness. You know when developers have put their heart and soul into a project. To this passion, we attribute a sense of its worth. We share it, we keep it, and protect it as if it were our own. Ambition, along with creative and memorable touches, can absolutely be achieved by AAA developers, but when anything passes through a large amount of hands, it tends to be chipped away until it loses its soul.
Too many cooks spoil the broth. You're left with a product that everyone likes, but no one truly loves.
Game developers today aren't just competing with the games released in the same quarter, they're competing with the past. And as video games move into the future, the past is an ever more daunting portfolio to follow. I said at the beginning that all these things were problems, but not for me, not for the player. I can't move on from Banjo Kazooie because I don't want to. And I don't want to because I don't have to.
Rose-tinted glasses may make you see the game differently to other people, but the feelings are still real, and it's going to take something truly special to knock games like Banjo Kazooie off their pedestals.
And with the state of the gaming industry at the moment, don't hold your breath. Or maybe Banjo 3E will be the one to do it. LOL.